After showering, Masamune-kun marvels at the handsome devil in the mirror. The sinews of his well-sculpted form tense and flex, as if he were posing for a Grecian sculptor. Alas, his posing session gets cut off as his sister, Chinatsu, casually calls him the picture of vanity. Because really, a morning shampoo and shower, followed by posing in front of a mirror? What in the Patrick Bateman is this routine? Masamune promptly denies the allegations and says that he's just setting an example for himself. He then scolds her for coming into his room, and she slyly asks him how he could forget about their sibling bond just because they lived apart for a bit. Masamune shifts his attention to a picture on his corkboard, and he's reminded of a promise he made to himself, that he will never be naive or powerless ever again. His somber mood is interrupted by a chipper little girl named Kanue Hayase, who tells them that breakfast is ready. Unfortunately for Masamune, their breakfast is loaded with carbs and sugar. Sure, he loved these in the past, but he can't eat them now. This disappoints the now hysterical Kanue. How could Masamune deny his mommy like this? Wait, mommy? Well, here you have it, folks. This sassy little child isn't a child, but a fully grown woman. Anime logic. Despite her mother's tears, Chinatsu just focuses on eating her meal and comments that Masamune's gotten rid of a lot of baggage. Kanue keeps dramatically crying, especially as her son leaves without touching his food. Just when they finally started living with him again. You might think that it's cruel for him to leave his mother high and dry like that, but there's just no freaking way he'll eat anything that high in calories in the Lord's morning. After all, everything depends on whether you're hot or not. At least, that's his life motto. While walking past a horde of girls swooning over him, he mulls over how if you're not a hot guy, then you're not human. He then stops to watch some cuties playing tennis, but his blood runs cold when one of the girls yell, "What are you gawking at?" Masamune's freaking out. Did they notice that he was looking at them? No. Masamune-kun. The girls are charging at a poor sod behind him, accusing him of taking inappropriate pictures. In reality, Masamune was the one watching, and this guy just took out his cell phone without thinking. And that's his cue to leave. But before he can, one of the girls recognizes him as the handsome transferee who scored perfect on the entrance exams. They even invite him to play tennis with them. Everything depends on whether you're hot or not. This is his motto in action. As Masamune nears the school building, he joins a group of students in watching a public confession take place. The super handsome, popular, and overconfident Shigeo Yamada is confessing to the cruel princess, as the students call her. Said cruel princess stands atop the school rooftop with a mic in hand. Shigeo cockily poses and coaxes her to answer, and to this, the cruel princess smiles before revealing that she had her servants run a background check on him. And what did that background check reveal? That he reads a manga called, "Oh, geez, I'm Ryubi Gentoku" in a gender-swapped romance of the Three Kingdoms, that he likes staring at his underclassman's upper arm flab, that he wrote an empowerment fantasy novel with an MC that shares his name, and that he always has a single hair growing on his mole. Jesus, ma'am, that's a lot of words when, no, would have sufficed. All the students are now avoiding their beloved Shigeo-senpai, and to cap it all off, the cruel princess reveals the banner she had made for Shigeo, christening him with the name, Moleo. The spectacle leaves Masamune shaken up, but he tells himself that he can't afford to lose his nerve over something like this. As he tries to hype himself up, the familiar cruel princess passes by, and they lock eyes with each other. Sometime in the past, a bouquet of flowers was thrown at the feet of a chubby boy, with a girl telling him that she would never fall in love with him. Masamune snaps out of that nightmare with a cold sweat, and a girl chirpily approaches him. It's the class rep, Tae Futaba, and though she pretended to scold him for dozing off, she goes on to tell him that him sleeping in class only means that he's adjusting to school well. Futaba's relieved to know this. Jesus Christ, Masamune can't believe that he can get away with sleeping and drooling in class just because he's cute. Oh, Masamune, wait, till you hear about cute, bleg, serial killers. Just then, Kojiro Shuri enters the room with food in his arms. He oh so kindly got Masamune lunch since he fell asleep, and though the boy is grateful, the yakisoba bread is full of calories. He'll have to do an extra 100 crunches later. While eating, Kojiro compliments Masamune for being so amazing. He's got high grades, but he isn't stuck up. Plus, he's good at sports and good looking as well. As for Masamune, he thinks that Kojiro is also quite popular, though he serves the niche taste of a certain crowd. Ah, yes, Kojiro, hailed by that group as the designated bottom. Their conversation is then interrupted by a voice looking for a certain Akio Tanabe. It's the cruel princess. She walks in and randomly pulls Masamune by the necktie, asking if he knows if Tanabe Akio is there or not. They have an intense stare down that only stops when Akio Tanabe raises his hand and identifies himself. Satisfied, the cruel princess reads a letter which says, "I fell for how dignified you look in PE class." Simply put, she says, this is just him liking how her legs look in shorts. With that, she rips the letter in front of him and decidedly dubs him as the Pudding Prince. After all but decimating the poor boy's dignity, this whack calls for her right-hand girl, Yoshino, to leave with her. Once she's gone, Kojiro tells Masamune that like him, the cruel princess has the best grades in their year and she's really beautiful. Their similarities end there because unlike him, she's mean. Futaba adds that she also really hates guys. She gives anyone who tries to ask her out cruel nicknames and chases them off, which really makes you wonder, why the hell are they even bothering with her? Anyway, that's how she gained her title, but her real name is Aki Adagaki. She's the daughter of the head of the Adagaki group. Adagaki. The very mention of that name throws Masamune off. He suddenly gets up from his seat and chases after her, only to stop at the door. Aki turns around to look at him but ultimately leaves. Masamune can't believe it. Finally, he saw her again. He didn't think he'd meet her again so soon. Later that day, Aki's all-girl lackeys surround her for some tea time. They're a cross between being lackeys and being simps. Masamune watches them from afar and comments that he thought that girls would fear her, but she's a lot more pleasant with them. Kojiro explains that girls find her bluntness really cool, so Masamune writes that observation down. He throws a barrage of questions at Kojiro regarding Aki's type, likes, dislikes, and even tendencies. However, Kojiro hasn't heard much of it except for the fact that Aki loves to eat lunch alone. The boys blink at the sight of Aki leaving. It seems like she always has girls following her except for the time she's eating. He'll have to investigate further on this. Kojiro quickly warns Masamune about his plan. Aki might do something bad to him. The taller boy tells him not to worry. But then he realizes something and quickly leaves his spot. Damn, he lost Aki's trail. Where on earth could she be? Now that he's actually trying to look for her, the school feels so big. That is until he spots one of Aki's lackeys carrying a bag. Sensing something fishy, he quickly follows her to a building. Yoshino slips into the building holding the bag with Aki scolding her for taking so long. Yoshino is sorry for her tardiness and that she only got 2 cutlet sandwiches. Yes, he tracked Aki Adagaki down. He feels so brilliant right now. Huh. What's the metal case Aki's holding? Oh, a spider. A spider. Masamune screams in fear and rushes right in, falling in an anxious heap in front of Aki. So much for being stealthy. Seeing his mistake, he chuckles and quickly reasons that he wasn't eavesdropping at all. He just saw Yoshino walk here, that's all. Aki questions him. Are you saying that you didn't think I'd be in here? Well, who would expect someone like Aki to eat lunch in the storeroom, right? Plus, she seems to love high-calorie meals that are only suitable for people who do intense physical labor. Aki tells him to leave because he's being a bother. Masamune keeps a friendly demeanor and tells her not to worry. After all, there are athletic girls who eat more than her. But as he's saying this, his gaze moves towards more empty bento boxes. Did she consume all those? Is this woman a bottomless pit? Aki tells him that she can't help it. If she eats like everyone else, she just gets hungry right away. She's prone to hypoglycemia, so she must always ensure she gets enough sugar. She even thought she might have parasites and even had tests done, but the doctors didn't find anything. Either way, she has to do everything she can so her stomach doesn't rumble. Normal girls' stomachs don't rumble like Big Ben when hungry. Masamune quickly tells her that he has places to be, but before he can leave, Aki demands his name. He tells her his surname, which is what most of his classmates call him. But this doesn't save him from Aki's threatening gaze. Tell anyone about this, and you'll regret it, she warns. That sends a shiver down his spine, but Masamune believes he's been dealt with a trump card. After this, Masamune's been spotted hanging out more with Aki. It's because of this that during PE, Kojiro tells him that there's a rumor in class about him being the possible love item for the cruel princess since he's been friendly with her lately. Masamune tells Kojiro that it's not like that at all. Cue in images of Aki trying to ruin his day. The truth of the matter is, she's only ever been mean to him ever since. That's nothing new. Girls are absolutely terrifying. As he looks at Aki through the window, Masamune wonders whether anyone would even believe him if he said someone like her could eat such a huge meal. Just when he thought she didn't notice him, she shows him a sign that says, "Back to your doghouse." This distracts him enough that he doesn't even notice that there is a ball aimed at his head. Ow. The girls watching his game with Kojiro quickly ask if he's okay, and he says he's fine. However, as he's picking up the ball, a boy passes by him and tells him not to be so full of himself. Man, it looks like it's not just the girls who are scary when in love. This will be annoying, but maybe, just maybe, he can use this to his advantage. After Aki leaves the school, Yoshino appears to be dozing off, and she tells her to wake up, especially since she's absolutely hungry again. She needs some food, ASAP. Yoshino asks if she wants rice or bread, but all Aki tells her is that she feels weak, so it doesn't matter what it is. She should just hurry and buy it. She runs and hurries to a store around the corner, leaving Aki. Meanwhile, Aki is worried about how her body is worsening. She made sure to eat a heavy lunch, but it seems like even that wasn't enough. She goes on to check where Yoshino went but is halted by a boy's voice saying, "You're in quite a hurry. Do you have a date with Makabe?" It's Akio Tanabe, the one she calls the Pudding Prince. But, before she can finish speaking, he tells her to shut up. He grabs her hair and pulls it. She ripped his letter, but Makabe's just fine with her. Is it because Makabe's handsome and he isn't? She tells him that looks don't matter to her and for him to let go of her. Well, he's not done with her yet. He's going to chop her pretty princess hair. But before he can do anything, someone grabs his scissors. It's Masamune. He anticipated that this would happen, given Aki's reputation. Seeing that Aki is no longer alone, Akio runs away, screaming. Even though Masamune is bleeding, he asks if Aki's hurt. Aki tells him that she should be the one asking him this. He tells her that it's nothing as long as she's safe. Oh, but damn, does it hurt? That kind of cut just stings once it sinks in. With this, Masamune believes that Aki can't possibly be mean to him anymore. He knows her secret, and he saved her from that horrific encounter. Her pride is on the line. Masamune tells her not to make such a face and that girls are much cuter when they smile. This makes Aki blush. We see the picture in Masamune's corkboard again. It turns out the other person in the picture is Aki Adagaki. They're childhood friends. You see, when Masamune was young, he was a fat kid. Aside from that, he was a snobby rich kid, which made him a target of bullies. Back in the day, Aki Adagaki always had his back. She was his savior. That was until she rejected him. So, he thinks as he walks away, this will be his revenge. He hates her. He despises her so much that he can't even bear it. That's why he'll do whatever it takes to make her fall in love with him now. When this happens, it'll all be over. He will drop the bomb on who he is and break her heart in the most amazing way possible. He calls this the dead or love plan. As he looks at their picture, Masamune cannot help but break into a fit of laughter. Masamune practically has it down to a science. He tries to get that contrast of both attractive and clumsy. Girls eat that up. He even tries to be friendly with Tanabe and uses this opportunity to keep a little mystery with the girls. It also looks like he's got a love letter in his shoe locker. Oh no. It says, "Pig's foot." He's been found out? No, she wouldn't do something this underhanded, right? Someone like Aki would make a spectacle out of his suffering. A woman like her would wait for the perfect moment. Then who could possibly know him from the past? Kojiro asks Masamune if he's alright, putting him on the list of suspects. Futaba inserts herself in the middle and asks him why he has such a scary look on his face, which takes him aback. He then hears someone yell, "Pig's foot." Masamune falls from his desk. He quickly searches for the person and finds out that he's just talking with his friends about how this kid had a whole pig's foot for lunch. Dang, that almost had him. This only brings him back to his days of being bullied. The girls are worried about him, but Masamune is convinced that they're only nice to him right now because he's just good looking. People would reject him if they found out what he actually looked like. They'll make fun of him. That's just how things are. The impact of his thoughts is so bad that Masamune even tears up in class. Though everyone finds this endearing, Masamune is more focused on trying to figure out who sent him that letter. His revenge will all go to waste if Aki finds out who he is. Not even him being adopted by his grandpa and changing his surname would help. 8 years of sweat and tears will go to waste. Suddenly, the lunchtime rush happens, and poor Yoshino can barely even slip in. When she gets pushed back, Masamune is quick to help. Yoshino is convinced that she's dead, given how hard that impact was. Masamune reassures her that she's very much alive. He can barely understand what's going on with her. She lifts up a piece of paper, and he understands that she wants his help in buying Aki's order: 5 croquette buns and 4 cutlet sandwiches. With some elbow grease, he manages to get this, but damn is it heavy. Once he has the order, he asks Yoshino if he can go with her to meet Aki. This way, he might be able to find out if she's the unknown sender. He tries to play rough with Yoshino and pinches her cheek, but seeing how distressed Yoshino is, he tells her that it's just a joke. He won't force it if it means getting her into trouble. Heck, he'll even do the explaining for Yoshino. As they walk to the gym, Masamune compares Yoshino to Cinderella, who is being bullied by her wicked stepmother. He can't help but relate. When Yoshino comes back, Aki ridicules her and doesn't even thank her. Aki even chokes on one piece of bread that she bites on, a sad sight that not even Masamune wants to see. Once Yoshino leaves, Masamune uses this opportunity to spend time with Aki. She hesitantly asks how he is, but he says that the wound he got just stings when he's in the bath. Actually, it hurts like hell. He can see her pride crumble. Yes, all according to Kikaku. However, given how things are transpiring, it seems like the person who sent him the letter isn't even Aki. Infuriating, he says under his breath. This causes Aki to get flustered, thinking that he's referring to her. Yoshino clumsily returns and falls down, showing her undies again. Aki scratches Masamune's eyes, so he doesn't see her friend in such a compromised position. Despite this, Yoshino later gives him some strawberry milk. This sweet Cinderella. Aki tells him Yoshino is always nice to everyone, it's a bad habit. It's fine if Yoshino's nice to her, she works for her. But to everyone else, that shouldn't be the case. Masamune tells her that he can't be nice to everyone, either. As he puts the cold box against her skin, he tells her maybe it's because he wants her to rely on him more than she relies on Yoshino. Mission accomplished. He has her flustered. It's just like in his sister's shoujo manga. The dead or love plan is moving forward. As he heads home, Masamune gets caught in a trap. He hears a girl call him pig's foot, and he turns to find Yoshino with a knife. Are you trying to get back at Aki-sama, pig's foot? She asks. But how could she know? Wait, she's in the photo. She cuts him off and tells him that her family has always served the Atagakus for generations. He hears a girl call him pig's foot, and he turns to find Yoshino with a knife. Are you trying to get back at Aki-sama, pig's foot? She asks. But how could she know? Wait, she's in the photo. She cuts him off and tells him that her family has always served the Atagakus for generations. 300 years, to be exact. By the looks of it, this Cinderella is ending his plans. He tells her to go and laugh at him, but at least he tried to give that woman a taste of his own medicine. That's fine. Why don't you do it? I'll even help you out, Yoshino replies. Will the twists ever end? I can barely keep up. Masamune is understandably suspicious of Yoshino. He can't trust her. This might be another trap. He needs to remember that this is his own plan, and he shouldn't involve anyone else. He needs to become email buddies with Aki, stat. Class Representative Futaba interrupts his thoughts, asking if he's lost again while holding a pile of papers in her arms. He quickly helps her with it and says he wouldn't want to bother her. She tells him that it's her job as a class representative to check up on transferees. She'll even work extra hard for him. For now, he'll see if he can try exchanging emails with Futaba, never mind. He chickened out. He doesn't want her seeing he has 0 contacts. In class, Masamune asks Kojiro if the person he exchanges emails with will know about the number of contacts he has. You know, just a pop quiz. It's not like it's about him. Kojiro tells him that it won't show up to anyone else. What a relief. Now he'll just have to wait for a situation that isn't awkward. He then overhears that the school beautification committee needs a new member. This just might be it. He volunteers and reasons that he hasn't joined any other committee anyway. Besides, for Futaba, he'll do it. What a charmer. Of all the people to ignore him, it had to be Aki. Not even a smidge of a reaction. As he's cleaning the window, Masamune thinks that if people find out that he's scared of spiders, that he used to be a fat kid, and that he's afraid of exchanging emails, then they'll see how worthless he truly is. How can he ever make Aki fall for him? Futaba arrives at the scene, feeling responsible for Masamune's additional work. He and Futaba share a pleasant moment with just the two of them. It's at this point he realizes that he is in a golden moment with a girl who went out of her way to find him. She even asks them to go to a movie together. Yes, a movie where they can be intimate. A date. She takes his hesitation as rejection and leaves him be. Damn, is he actually popular? Oh no, Aki was here all this time. Yeah, she was just here to get a bucket. He asks whether she heard them, and she comments that it must be nice to be popular. Masamune senses some prickliness in her tone. Is she jealous? Masamune tells her that he's more interested in dating her, and Aki thanks him for that. Seeing this as a sign, he asks for her email, but she tells him that her phone is being repaired. If that's the case, he decides to keep this going and tells her that he'll just get it next week. He doesn't find her but sees a note that tells him to look at the teacher's desk, but little does he know it's just going to lead him towards a wild goose chase that only leads to Aki displaying a scroll that says, "I decline," outside the window. Yoshino approaches Masamune from behind and calls him naive. If it were up to her, the dates would be limitless. She even gives him her details. Kojiro is upset that they'll need to take supplementary classes if they get a low grade for this exam, but Masamune comforts him and says that they'll be studying together. This only excites class representative Futaba, who turns out to be an absolute fujoshi. As Masamune is helping Kojiro study, he notices Aki and Yoshino studying the same topic at the table right next to them. Aki is impressed that Masamune can even teach Kojiro when he fell for such a simple trick. Seeing Yoshino behind her reminds him of that moment they exchanged emails. Alright, Masamune proposes a wager. Whichever pair, him and Kojiro, or Aki and Yoshino, gets the higher score wins. If Masamune wins, he gets to date Aki. If Aki wins, she can give him a humiliating nickname, and he will wear this until they all graduate. Aki adds that he'll also be paying for her lunch until she deems it to be enough. Game on. Unfortunately for him, Yoshino can't commit to this plan he decided on without even consulting her. Dang, to think Kojiro is actually not the smartest kid on the block too. With all that's going on, it will all come down to their individual abilities. While buying drinks, Masamune faces Yoshino. He explains to her that it was wrong for him to rely on her in a fight he decided to undertake on his own. He and Kojiro will just have to do their best. Yoshino gives him some boxed coffee and tells him to drink it. She tells him that it doesn't matter either way. While doing the test, Masamune feels his stomach hurt. Was he sabotaged? Damn his stomach. This pisses him off enough to charge towards Aki's classroom, and she's sick. Wait, so he could have won either way? Why would Yoshino do that, then? He then receives a text from Chinatsu, saying that the eggs their mom used for their packed lunch are bad. Ah, so that's why. Dang. And by the looks of it, he and Aki are both in the supplementary classes. What a life. If you made it this far into the video, here's a cookie. Please subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to stay updated. More fun anime coming soon. See you in the next one.